Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. It is Friday afternoon. I have been working on stuff. Just decided I would just go live randomly. So we're going to wait here for a minute, let a few other people join in before we really get into anything. I got me a tomato right here. I am going to cut this little bad spot off and then carve out what little bad I find in there. It had a rotten spot on it. Glenn McDaniel, how are you, my brother? I know these knife shop lives are very random, so they'll always be that way. Because my days are not well planned out. I mean, if I did plan them out, I'd never get what I plan to do done. That's just how life is around here. I don't like it that way. It's just reality. We have had a lot going on this week, thus there's not been a lot of videos. We had a funeral this week. A lady in our church passed away, and we went and done a lot of that one day. And tomorrow we have a benefit going on. There will be an ATV ride, and I don't know yet if I'm riding, but there'll be a band playing. It is to benefit a cousin of mine that's got brain cancer, and so I will be involved in some of that. And there's stuff like that going on that you have no control over. You have to work stuff like that in, and you need to be a part of it because it's community and you helping family. And if communities don't stick together and help one another and support one another, then who is? So. And I don't think that is just my life. I think that is anywhere that there's anybody that actually cares about other people. It's like that. So there's not been a lot of videos this week. I have been working on a few knives. I have worked on a lot of knives. I have got one right here. I posted a picture of it, y'all, a little bit ago. And here's another thing. I am almost, y'all, caught up on knife orders. I did not realize how many I have made recently. I've got about 3 names left. So if you watch this and you're supposed to be on a knife order list, and I haven't contacted you, I have got 3 or 4 names on there. I have searched for the messages and the contact, and I can't find it in email. I can't find it in text messages. I can't find it on Instagram. I can't find it on Facebook Messenger. I don't ever take orders through comment section. So if I have not contacted you and you're supposed to be getting a knife and you're still waiting on it, you need to message me, okay? That is just how it is. This, y'all, is the first Jonah that is for sale, just randomly, that is got the thick blade Ligman Vita wood. Beautiful grain in that wood. Okay, so here's the deal. Let me explain to y'all knife prices now. Let me pull a couple of these off the wall. This is out of my personal stuff. We still have not released the survival knife yet. Not even considered it yet. I've got some work to do on it. Let me catch up on some comments before I... JL, Thomas Shepard. Thomas, your knife is in the mail. You should be getting it. Eric, how are you? I don't have any other way no more, y'all, to check comments than just like I'm doing it. I'm going to wind up having to go buy me a computer. Yeah, the tomatoes, we getting some. I'm hoping that now we've had about a dry week. I'm hoping into this week I'm getting some ripe tomatoes that I don't have to fight with. I've got plenty of tomatoes. I've got piles of canned tomatoes from last year and year before, so I never really planned on canning a pile of tomatoes. Thus the reason I only planted 2 rows instead of 3. So anyway, I don't know, but we'll see something about, we're not going to just let stuff go to waste. And that is one of the I knew I was going to be busy this year, focusing on fishing, focusing on pushing the knife shop, and just had some camping and other stuff I was planning on doing, which the rain has obviously kept me from doing. But I didn't plan a lot because I knew I wasn't going to be focused on the garden. But anyway, let's talk about knives for a minute. Knife prices, and I don't have any knives here other than my personal few knives and then this one. I've got my personal Jonah on my side, but it is the thick blade. So here's the deal. Everything from here on will be heat treated. So when I heat treat this thin metal, this is a Daniel, but the Daniel and the Jonah are going to run the same price side by side. They're about the same length knife. They're pretty much the same. So anytime you want to buy one of these, this is a 3/32 saw blade. Most of them will now be made out of masonry saw blades, which is a little inferior metal to what I was making previously that were untreated, unheat treated. When I say untreated, I'm talking about I did not heat treat any of the previous knives. Well, for the most part. I did a few, and people knew they were getting heat treated knives. This one is heat treated. And it was one of the first ones I tested to see how it was going to hold up. So what I've done, I run out, basically I've got like 2 saw blades left of the old metal I used to use, and I'm not going to cut them up and make Jonahs out of them unless they're just special, whatever. I'm just going to hang on to them unless I start getting my hands back on a bunch of them, we'll see. I went to a masonry saw blade because I can get a lot more of them. Those masonry saw blades are a little bit weaker steel initially. Once I heat treat that steel, it is actually a little better then than what I was making before. In other words, this knife that's made out of an inferior steel will actually hold a little better edge than the original Jonah I have made out of a little better steel. I could heat treat both of them, obviously. They would both wind up about exactly the same, in other words. So what happened is the blade that I used, they didn't treat that blade the same, probably made it out of the same material or similar, but they didn't heat treat it to use it for what they're using for. The ones I had been using were already a somewhat heat treated blade. So what it done, all of the knives that are out of the 3/32 material went up about $30 because I'm trying to cover the cost of gas, time of heat treating. It takes about 2 hours of electricity running in a toaster oven to anneal it or temper it to draw it back down and soften it a little. The butane in the forge to heat treat it, and the time. So, you know, it added $30 to a knife. I'm really not pocketing $30 more. I mean, initially I am, but I got more expense now because it'll cost me to tell what to fill that bottle of gas back up. So this knife went from $150 base knife to $180. Now, anytime that you add the lanyard to it, it's $10. If you add these liners in there, now the liners are just purely for looks. They may have a purpose as far as it getting wet, expanding, contracting, some of that stuff, but mostly, in my opinion, it is for looks. They add about $10. You can get initials on a sheath. In other words, I don't have any here, but you have seen me do them. You see this Caleb knife, the sheath drops down in there. I have to be careful on how I do the initials on these sheaths because they will, where it's rounded, you're stamping it in there and it can wear and make a hole in that sheath eventually. But the Jonah knives, and most of them, I've been able to put 2 letters on them. The Jonah and the Daniel, you can somewhat get 3 letters in there, but 2 letters of initials. Either way, each one of those options adds about $10. So the Caleb knife out of the 3/32 is 100 and... Let me get my book. Hang on. Because I had to write my own prices down. The Jonah and the Daniel out of 3/32 is 180. The Caleb and the Gideon is 160. So that knife right there is 160. Okay, so this one, actually all of my personal knives right here now, except this Daniel, is made out of this 1/8 material, these saw blades. And this is mine that I'm toting. So this is one of them here. Now this one don't have a lanyard on it. That is Ligman Vita. And you can't order a knife with Ligman Vita. I'm just going to make some occasionally because I only have a little bit of it. And they just like this one for sale, and they're a little bit higher. I put yellow liners in this one. This knife is going to start out at $230. Let me see. Let me get it right. $240. Because all of them will be heat treated. So all of the Jonahs will be, they go into 80, 800. If you order a basic Jonah with no liners, no nothing, it'll be $230 out the door, out of the thick material. So what it does is I got a limited supply of them saw blades, and I don't know how long they're going to last. I'm going to run these, and then what will happen is when these all run out, I'll have to go to buying a bar stock, and we'll see what happens. So I am slowly working into getting these. Now I posted this one for sale on the on Facebook, and it'll probably take a little while to sell it because I mean it's expensive, really and truly is. But that one has that Ligman Vita, and I put liners on it. I did not put a lanyard. So anyway, we are venturing into, but you can still get a basic Jonah for $180, and it'll be heat treated. In my opinion, it's a better knife as far as holding an edge than the other ones were. I was running the other ones just because I could make them a little cheaper. So it's unfortunate. I wish I'd give anything to get my hands on enough of that material that I didn't have to heat treat them, really. If I had my way, that's how it would be. But I got 4 names right there, and the first one I went to try to pull up, I can't find it. So like I said, if you're supposed to be getting a knife and you ain't heard from me, message me. The Jonah is an absolute wonderful knife. As far as design goes, I don't have any complaints with it. For me though, I just like knives, and it depends on what I'm doing as to what I want on my side. When I go to skinning stuff, I can do it with any of them. I'm wanting to use that Caleb and see how it works well. Nancy, how are you? Huckleberry Uncle Sasquatch. Yeah, Uncle Sasquatch, the price of everything has gone up. And the more I try to do, the more I am learning, the more I order and want to make stuff out of. So I ordered something the other day, and then I went to Lowe's and found this, but this is copper rod, and they're to solder up and hang pipes on. But then I was online, and I ordered some copper rods. They was like $20 for a little handful of copper rods to make copper pins to match these liner tubes so that everything matches up. It just looks better when everything matches. I'm having to look up here to see who all's. Jeff Busby. I've got a package that came in earlier. I've been waiting on this package for a week. Martin Meltzer sent me a package. Mr. Martin always sends me some wonderful boxes of stuff, which several people do. I don't reckon I've ever got a bad box of anything. But every now and then Martin will just send me a box of books and candy and goodies and send Brody stuff. And Brody is not here. They all just left. They went to eat with Lissy today. So I am fixing to open this box, y'all, and let's see what's in it. I want to finish my tomato and get my hands wiped off. So I don't have no idea what is in here. Martin Meltzer has, it may be a Jack in the Box for all I know. And then I'm going to show y'all a new knife I am working on when I get done with this. So don't run off. Uh-oh, I see a t-shirt in here. Brody's got all kind of stuff in here. So I see a t-shirt that says, "Can't work today. My arm is in a cast. Got a man fishing." Now, I like that, Martin. Martin ain't on here live, I don't think, is he? I was hoping he would jump in today. Tudor. Yeah, I needed to go make a sandwich out of it. I should have, but hey, don't worry. I got another one sitting right here ready to go. I'll eat, but I like them just raw tomatoes. All right, there's another shirt in here. Now I don't know. Some of these he may have got. God made me, Jesus saved me, Mississippi raised me. Now that is an awesome shirt. That is an awesome shirt. See what this one says. Visit many good books, but live in the Bible. That is cool. Martin always fixes us up with some pretty cool stuff. Oh, Lord. Look at him. Brody will be happy to see that. And that. Brody, and this one, y'all, honest to God, this is Brody's favorite candy that we have gotten. And when Brody gets home, I'll try to get on video him finding some of this stuff. Now, I bet I know who this one's for. Yeah, you seen him, right? Uncle Sasquatch, look, and he knows. He's going with it. He's going over there and get on his rug. We gotta, he went and he was making sure they wasn't something else. Land of the Sky. Al Petaway and Amy White. Musical inspirations from the South Appalachians. It's got songs on there. We'll have to put that in something and listen to it. Oh, whoops. I just dumped that off in the floor. Did y'all see that? That stump wasn't quite big enough. Oh. It was a little off kilter. Let me put all that back in there. All right. The Camp Dutch Oven Cookbook. Y'all, that may be interesting. This may produce some videos. I'm always gonna make some videos about something, and then I get so busy I don't get to make it all happen. It tells you all about how to cook with a Dutch oven, tools to use, getting started, safety. You gotta have that safety. About the recipes, apple coffee cake, blueberry breakfast cake, strawberry Dutch baby, lemon buttermilk biscuits. Lemon buttermilk biscuits, I bet that's good. I like lemon. 2 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, half cup of milk, 2 cups of all-purpose baking mix, 3 tablespoons of sugar, half cup unsalted butter, 1 large egg beaten. That is cool. We may have to try some of that stuff out. May have to. There's an envelope in there. I'll get into it and read it later. Magnum charge tubes. Charge volume. They got the powder charge measured up through there where they're waterproof, and you can put your powder charge in there and just stick them in your pocket. That might be very handy hunting in wet weather around here. What? So it is a leather pouch. I ain't gonna tear it open right now, but it's some kind of a leather pouch. Samuel Pruitt, how are you today? I'm sure I'm skipping some comments, y'all. I'm just, as they pop up, I happen to see them. I ain't intentionally overlooking anybody. Thomas R. Quinn, old-fashioned homemade ice cream. Y'all know we needed this ice cream recipe thing the other night on the live we did. Yeah. Oh, man, they got all kind of ice cream in here. Hey, that's going to come in handy. I still ain't eat all that ice cream we made. I'm working on it, though. The history of the American Revolution. I'll have to sit down with Brody with this while we're doing his schooling stuff. That is a good learning little book. I can teach him some stuff. American Revolution. All right, now I don't know what is in this bigger box here. Oh, my. There is a, whoa. There's a wool blanket in here, y'all. Wow. Tico Outdoors. I ain't gonna unpack this out here in this dirt and open it all up. That is awesome. It is always cool to get a bunch of cool packages from people. So, Knit Outdoor Wool Camping Blanket. So, whenever Martin gets to see this, I wanted him to know I got the package, because it's been supposed to have been here for about 4 or 5 days ago, and it finally showed up today. All right. This is where things get done. Eventually. That is so mean. I'll get it done. But there ain't no need reminding me every 6 months. We'll get to you. So anyway, y'all, that is cool. So I'm probably gonna pack most of this actually back in this box for right now. Simply because I may open it up for Brody when he gets here, let him see what all was in there. Oh. Put it back like it was. He had it stacked in there pretty neatly. Roscoe may want another one of his. You need another one of these treats there, buddy boy? You think another one is in order? I think so too. Oh, Roscoe likes him a treat now. I'll go through some of that a little more in depth and figure. I like to open that CD up and dump it out. All right. I'm going to set this back over somewhere out of the way. All right, if y'all hadn't happened to notice, there is another piece of equipment in the shop. My dad had a bandsaw that he could not get to work right. I've never fooled with bandsaws till I got this one back over here that's right there. And I started learning how to run it. Didn't know how to run it. Run 2 or 3 bands right off the bat, trying to get it set up and cutting right. And my neighbor, Mr. David Bayer, come up here and helped me figure out how to operate it. And I finally learned a little about it. So when my dad said he was fixing to haul this one to the scrap because the band wouldn't stay on it, I said, no, I'll come get it. I don't really need another bandsaw, but I wouldn't let him just throw it in the dump. I took the cover off of it, and it's got what they call a tire on there. You know, it's got the big 14-inch wheel that the bands run around. Well, there's a strip of rubber that goes around that wheel to cushion it so that the band don't mash into the teeth and straighten the teeth out, obviously. Well, there was not one on there. One of them was wadded up down in the cabinet, they call it, of it. And I put it back on, and then I happened to find an old inner tube that I had, put it on there, and it works good. I need to actually order a set of tires. But anyway, I ordered some new bands. So this one has got a 1/2 inch band on there. Works great now for cutting scales. I got everything adjusted, so now I am running 2 band saws. So the reason I say that, we are slowly adding tools and different things to make the knife making a little more efficient. I ordered drifts. They should be here really tomorrow. I ordered them on eBay. I ordered 3 drifts. There's a hammer eye drift, a tomahawk drift, and a mouse hawk drift. So the reason I wanted them is I hear people driving up. I want to take this bucket. There's a white bucket right there that is slammed full of railroad spikes. And I want to try to learn how to turn those railroad spikes into a throwing tomahawk. They will not be like high quality, survival, bet your life on, stay sharp forever tomahawks. They'll just be novelty items to throw. So we're gonna experiment. Sam Pruitt, the drift is a tapered long tool that you use to drive through. I'll show you. You drive through to make this eye right here. And this was a railroad spike. So this is inevitably similar to what they look like. I tried to do this and I made a horrible job. I split it way too much. It is way too large, and for that to be so narrow, it don't fit on there. And without a drift, you can't hammer against this to get it to where it fits right on your handle. It won't never be tight. So you need a good drift. So I ordered some. So hopefully in the near future we get into working on that. I've been planning on making those tomahawks for a while, and I've had several people ask me, was I going to make axes and hawks and stuff like that? And I have the plans to it. It will probably be a while before I offer one for sale, because I need to practice. I need to get them where they're worthy of selling. I don't want to just make some piece of junk and then sell it and it's, always a piece of junk. You can glue a piece of steel. Now, I do intend to make some that's just out of a solid blade, where the blade fits down inside the handle like the natives would have made way back there. Like they split the wood and put the stone in there. Well, then once they got metal, they used the same method. We will definitely do some of them eventually, because we're getting into some Native American stuff as we put the teepee back up and get into the spirit of fall and hunting and all of that. We're going to do some camp cooking in the teepee. I'm planning on setting that thing. In fact, I may go set it up this afternoon. Right now, I'm going to set it up right out here behind my back porch where we do our lives. And it may be possible that we can do some lives from the teepee. I would love to do Saturday Night Live out there at the teepee, cooking in a Dutch oven, all, which obviously right now is entirely too hot to build a fire and all that stuff. So you're looking more over into the fall of the year when that really can be more of a possibility with the fire and the cooking. Now, we can just sit out there by it and look at it and talk in front of it, such as that, and we may do that. But I want to get it set up where we can experiment with the structure. I want to put it up, take it down, and put it back up and adjust and get everything where it works really good. And I'm hoping that I can get to filming more videos with it. We put it up, and down there where I put it up, it just, I don't know. I had the full intentions when we first put it up. I built no. And my phone's always going off, y'all. But when we got it put up down there, it was a little bowl right in there, and it started raining not long after we put it up, and then Then it hit hunting season, and I got focused into hunting, and it was dark early, and we went through winter, and I never had everything set up just right. And we just never got into staying in it, and I kind of got away from all of that stuff as we went. I focused really hard on learning that new hunting land over there. So it is time to go over there as it dries up a little bit. We've been a whole week that it hadn't rained here. This is the first solid week without rain since probably back in winter. So it's dry enough. I need to take the tractor over there and bush hog out some places and start cleaning up where I'm going to put my new hunting places, hunting stands, whatever. So I'm looking forward to getting into that, and I wanted to do some camping out over there. Huckleberry said it's raining in North Alabama right now. I know we've got showers predicted for this afternoon here. So here's the thing. I'm watching the water in the swamp. I'm wanting to go grinnell fishing bad. And I may load up and go. I've got a knife over here that's Mr. Donnie Adkins I am finished with. And I need to go ship his knife. Y'all look at how it turned out now. He wanted Osage with orange liners. And y'all, I think the orange liners was a really good choice for this knife because the Osage won't always stay yellow. This Osage will turn, I got a walking stick right here. This is Osage right here. You see the drastic difference? A lot of people that order an Osage knife don't really have any idea, but this wood will turn a beautiful dark caramel color. So when you order a knife out of Osage, know that it is not going to stay yellow unless you keep it inside, out of light. It is going to slowly age. I could go over there and take this and hit it on that belt sander in a spot, and it would come out just as yellow as it. Let's see. Let's do it down at the bottom. Look at the drastic difference. Is that not cool? So I have the full intentions of getting back into some of my bow making. So as we have got down to, this is my knife list now. So it is like, I've got 3 knives I know of I got to make. And I need to contact these people and get started on them 3 knives. But so if you're wanting a knife, now's the time to place an order. In fact, one of these orders just came in today. So, he ain't got a 4-week wait like some of y'all did. The next thing is y'all check this out. Anybody got any idea what I'm fixing to do here? This is a whole new learning curve for me right here. But I just decided I wanted to try a friction folder. So I have got to drill a hole in it here. I got some work to do. And then I ordered a mill to mill out the groove and bone, and I'm gonna do a bone handle. So don't know yet how I'm gonna do it. So this ain't bone, but in other words, it'll work like this, and then that right there will fold around, and you'll have this sticks out. So this will be cut off, but that locks down in there, and it's called a friction folder, and it won't be this piece of handle. It will be wood, but it will look basically like that once it is done with bone back here. I've never made one. My buddy down the road has, and he's mentoring me, showing me some tips and tricks and explaining to me how to do things. And y'all, I have been so blessed and so fortunate to have people help me, show me things. It has been so awesome. To get to learn to do everything that I'm doing has been very fortunate and a blessing to me, and I love it. So, if you want a knife, now's the time to get your name on the list. So, I'm sure I'll have orders start pouring in. I have really purposely tried to not take any orders to a while because I kind of got, my list got so long there for a while. I really didn't know if I was going to get caught up on it. I was way behind. So I'm fixing to work on this knife for a little bit. This is one, let me tell y'all about this knife. What did I do with, let me look. Well, I don't know where I threw it right here. This knife, I had at this stage the other day, yesterday. I started shaping on it, and I mean, look what developed down in that handle. I don't know if y'all can see this, but that is wormholes right up the middle of that knife. And I mean, they were deep enough, they were deep enough that they never showed up. I should have looked and seen that little bitty hole right there in the end. I guess I was hoping maybe that it was just a small hole. But anyway, I had to bust these scales off and start this one back over. So today, this guy, I was planning on shipping both of these knives today. And I'm probably going to just take Mr. Donnie Atkins and ship it, unless I get up with him and he happened to be somewhere local and wanna get it. But I've got to get this one done. But we fixing to be caught up, and it's like a relief. But then there's a little tad of anxiety, like, well, are you going to get enough orders to make a living next week? So we'll see. And I know the increase of knife prices a little beyond my control, and I may have to tweak some things. We're going to just have to see, because I really want to just randomly make some stuff and put it for sale. So the next thing is, y'all, that knife is going to stay posted on my social media, but probably as of tonight sometime it will get added to the Etsy store, and I'm going to start selling a lot of my one-off knives through the Etsy shop. So I'll be adding knives to there along the way. And the Caleb knives are on there. Get all of this shaped out. I like to get my edges shaped like I want them before I go into before I start shaping the sides of the scales and the contour, because I have found it has worked better. And I know most everybody does all of their wood shaping on the belt grinder. All I ever do is the final sanding over there, really. I favor doing it this way for whatever reason. So the next thing I wanted to talk to y'all about is, those of you that just tuned in may not know, I am going to be involved with a benefit tomorrow night. I don't know if we're going to be able to do a live tomorrow night or not. So I should have scheduled it for tonight and go ahead and do it. I don't know. I may need to take some suggestions. I had a half of mine to go grunnel fishing this evening and come back and cook grunnel tonight, which I could do that on live here if I did a live tonight. But I wanted to go camp out. But with everything going on tomorrow, I don't know if that's possible. I could probably go camp out and come back like really early in the morning, not fish none tomorrow. I don't know, the water is at 8 foot. It is just about to get down to just right in this swamp. It's been falling really, really fast. I'm sure I'm going grinnell fishing before the day's over. So you might get a video on it tomorrow, and then you might not. It may be next week before you get it. Cause I really need to film just in time today, probably. Just can't get everything done in one day's time. That's all there is to it. But I'll tell you this, at least I'm getting to stand here and work on a knife right now. In this heat, I'll tell y'all one thing I'm thankful for. I'm no longer doing metal roofing for a living. And I really appreciate that. And a lot of y'all have helped make that happen. Just by buying knives and buying pottery. And I physically could not do the metal roof anymore. I can't. Number one, I done got too fat. Now to be up on the roof, I'll be. Y'all know what I mean. Biggest issue, I done got too old for it. I didn't even know I was old. But I feel old now. Some mornings I wake up and feel older than others. Some mornings I wake up and feel young again. It's few and far between on them days. So the next thing I wanted to mention to y'all. What y'all think about my teepee sealing it all? Y'all have to get on Facebook if you hadn't already and go through the comment section on Facebook on that reel where I sprayed that stuff. Hey, the comment section is hilarious. It baffles my mind at the amount of people that watched me over the last 2 years mix up paint on 2 different occasions with paint thinner and get out there with a gun, and I sprayed a shooting house one day. I have sprayed my whole truck. I sprayed my canoe. What else have I sprayed? I've sprayed several different things, painting with paint. Nobody said a word. I mixed silicone in there with that paint thinner, and they lost their minds, y'all. It's a wonder the drill handle just blew the whole knife shop up over here with me mixing it. And then when I put it on that tarp, they sure that if we build a fire anywhere near or smoke anywhere in sight of this teepee, that it's just going to engulf in flames. I want to show y'all something. So I soaked a piece of this, and in 5 minutes, it would not burn. Okay, this is the next day, and I put a lot more on this than I did the other. You can't even catch it on fire. Y'all, what is wrong with people? I really want to know what is wrong with people. It's like their gears is turning, but nothing's happening. It's like your teeth's ground off of gears in their mind. So they don't really know what to do with the knowledge that they got. You'll have to go just read some of the ignorance that some people posted. I mean, hey, I'm way out in the yard spraying that stuff, and I mean, you know me, I don't do safety. I ain't had no respirator. I ain't had no mask on, no, and I knew they was coming for me. I knew it. But let me tell you, they got excited about it. And I mean, I have been scolded 6 ways from Sunday, but I done learned something, y'all, about this social media thing. If you can get everybody aggravated, and you can really trigger them and get them correcting you, and they can't stand it, they got to say something, that video is going to the top. I done well made over $100 off that one video. I looked on Facebook, it shows you how much one video is paying you. And most of them's got $1 and $2 beside it, and that one's got $115 or $20 out there because of all the comments. So know this about social media. If you out there and you're a content creator and you struggling, negative comments are your best friend. People that start really when they pile on you and everybody's correcting you, that is, and I'm fixing to have to go, y'all. My neighbor has done drove up out here in the yard. That is a thing around here.
There's always somebody coming up. Y'all want me to let him be on camera for a few minutes? I better not. He might not want to. We'll catch y'all next time. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.